What's going on YouTube? This is Quinn, that snazzy iPhone guy, and this is the long-awaited, very exciting review of the Klipsch Image S4 headphones. Now these retail for $79.99 US a piece. The S4i model, which adds the control system and module for iPods and iPhones and Blackberries, and the microphone, the smartphone version is 20 bucks more at $99. And then you can even get the S5i, which again is exactly the same sound, but it's a rugged model, and that's available for $130. So right here I just have the regular S4s. Like I said earlier, they retail for $80 US, and I honestly couldn't find a better price for them. They are absolutely incredible headphones, and they are well worth the MSRP. But we'll get into sound in just a minute. I'm not one to dwell on the packaging, but you will get included with the box is, and obviously the headphones, is a quick start guide, your Klipsch tin, which is kind of nice that they include that. You're going to get 2 additional pairs of ear gels that are different sizes, so you can see which ones will fit. One thing to note, all of them aren't, even the biggest one doesn't get incredibly big, so if you have some seriously big ear canals, you may have fitting issues and may have to move to a foam bud or one of the larger sizes, because the ones included aren't that much. However, you'd have to have pretty big ears, and the ones that already come on it is what I'm using and what will work for most. Also inside this tin, you're going to find a little ear cleaning tool. I haven't needed to use it yet, but yeah. So those are the 3 different things included with the headphones. All nice additions. I like this tin carrying case. It's always good to have something to protect the headphones you're using. Now let's get into the headphones themselves and the design behind them. We'll talk about sound in just a minute. Obviously that's the most important thing, but let's get into the design and the build quality of the headphones first. Now the build quality, if there is a negative about this headphone, it would be the build quality. It's not that the build quality is bad, it's just that I don't feel like they would be very resilient against harm and torture and all those other things that a lot of headphones go through. Now, the cable's a bit thin, I'm going to be honest. It's probably about as thin, maybe even thinner than the iPod cable that came with your iPod, or, if you're used to the white earbuds, and most everyone is, that's kind of the cable diameter you should expect. It's a pretty thin, a little bit of a pansy cable, and because of this, it's going to tangle a little bit, and that's not something I particularly enjoy about the headphones, but I do believe if you go to the $129 model, you will get a Kevlar cable, if I'm not mistaken. The casing is plastic, first of all, which is something that I'm not a huge fan on. A lot of these headphones that are coming out, like the Radius Atomic Ears, or Atomic Bass, Ultimate Ear stuff, they're using and moving to these metal casings. The good thing about the metal casing is they're very resilient, they're very durable, and the Klipsch Image S4s don't really have a lot of bulk to them, which is good in the way that they're extremely light. And if you have issues or problems, or you don't like any of your headphones, give these ones a shot, because due to their very, very light nature, they will fit in pretty much everyone's ears very comfortably. They have this tapered edge, which is a bit unusual in a lot of headphones. Most of them go straight out, including one of their higher end earphones, but I like the tapered edge because it gets it out of the way, out of your ear, and you can just hear the music, which is what I found really big and really important for me. So even though the casing is plastic, even though it's not the highest quality enclosure, it's extremely light and therefore more comfortable. As you move down the yoke, you're going to find the yoke here. Again, nothing much. You do have that slider though, so this can and will prevent tangling if you choose to use it. The cable itself isn't incredibly long. I don't know the exact length, but I'd say no more than 3 feet. And yeah, it's probably 36 inches if I had to guess. So there you go. Let's see. That's pretty much it for build quality. Kind of went over the casing, how it's mega lightweight. Great fitting, casing is plastic, cable's pretty thin, tangles a little. Let's get into the sound. Now these run on dual magnet micro speakers that have a 10 hertz to 19 kilohertz frequency response. So the spectrum of your sound is pretty wide, and you can get a very, very user-friendly experience all throughout your songs. Now the sensitivity is 110 decibel sound pressure level. Or it has 110 decibel sound pressure level. So what that means is that basically matches where it's going to be on the spectrum of how loud they can get. 110 decibels is extremely loud, and that's one thing I noticed with the S4s was I'd only have to have my iPod or my Mac or wherever it was. I found myself having it maybe half or three-quarters to where it is on where I usually put headphones. So these do get really loud and are very loud by nature, which also, due to the very, very tight fit in your ear, causes you not to need much volume. So that's one thing to note. The nominal impedance is 18 ohms, so they're very conservative headphones. They don't use a lot of power, and they sound good even if your device doesn't put out a lot of power, i.e. an iPod. So you don't need a headphone amp or any of that stuff you're going to need with higher-end headphones to get the full potential out of them. They run on dual magnet micro speakers, and let me tell you a story. My uncle's a huge audiophile, and I went to his house. I bought these. He had never really tried them. He'd heard of good things, and he wanted to go pick them out, but he pretty much has every headphone known to man. I mean, if you can think of a headphone, this guy has it. And I went to go try the Shure SE310s. They're $250 in-ear speakers, and honestly, I felt that the Klipsch Image S4 matched them in sound quality. Headphones that are almost 3 times the price of these. So as you can see, these are a very, very good value. And you're going to find with Klipsch, you know, you pay for the conservative nature of Klipsch. I mean, they're not always the most stylish looking devices, but they are some of the best sounding and the most value friendly devices. Obviously, Klipsch has their main focus on high sensitivity and efficiency. So, like I stated earlier, they don't take a lot of power. There's very low distortion because of this. Their headphones do not distort, no matter how high you turn them up. So that's one thing. You do get a very clean and crisp sound. The wide dynamic range, I mean, it has a very wide dynamic range. It's loud and soft when it needs to be. All of the instrumentation and all that stuff is accurate and true to the track. There's a flat frequency response, which is unlike pretty much every other headphone on the market right now. Most of them, including the Beats by Dre, Skullcandy, V-Moda, but not limited to these, have an overpowering bass. The low end is too heavy. Bose is included with this, and a lot of headphone manufacturers are turning to this, and it honestly isn't good, in my opinion. It's just a cheap way of getting stuff out. People want the bass, so you can put a low-end driver in there, crank up the bass, make that the main focus, and then you're good to go. Well, Klipsch doesn't do that. They make the frequency response incredibly good all across the wide spectrum. So you do get a good bass. You do get a pumping bass. But in the same breath, the top end isn't washed out. You still get the really warm, luscious mids you want. You get the beautiful high-end trebles that's incredibly detailed. I was listening to music, and I had heard a few different instruments in a few of my favorite songs that I had never heard before. I've tested 3 $500 headphones, and honestly, in all of those, I didn't notice that track that I found in the Klipsch Image S4s. Honestly, these are incredible headphones. You got this thumping low end, but they're not crazy like the Beats or Turbine. They're not overpowering, but it's there. It's a very, very strong bass and low end. However, and like I said earlier, that being said, the high end is still incredibly detailed, and you don't lose any of that instrumentation that you should expect. I've tested the sound on these headphones on all genres, and I honestly have not found a single genre that the S4 doesn't, brilliantly glare in. I've tried so many headphones, like I stated earlier. Headphones, under $300, even that, don't even match in comparison to the genres that this can play back well. The Beats by Dre, they do hip-hop, they do rap, but that's about it. They don't sound good in much else. Now these headphones, $80, they sound good from rap to classical to rock to techno. Honestly, these headphones are crazy good and high and above my expectations. I never imagined that the Klipsch Image S4s would be so good. So honestly, that's pretty much my full-in review. These are a must-have headphones. If you're looking for headphones, if you don't want to spend more than $300, these are without a doubt the headphones that you need to get. I'm in love with them. I bought these, didn't think I was going to keep them long, thought I was going to return them like most headphones, but I'm keeping these. These are the best headphones. Again, like I've said, under $250 that you can find, and even then, they're better than most of its competitors. So the Klipsch Image S4s get a brilliant 9 out of 10 from me. The only downside is the build quality. And I may even go pick up the Image S5Is, the rugged model, to try those out, because they are just, these are superb in sound quality, and the only lack is the cable's a bit thin, the casing is plastic, and that's honestly pretty much it. So this is Quinn, that snazzy iPhone guy, coming at you with a brilliant, brilliant set of headphones. I hope you go pick them up. I hope you go check them out. I can guarantee you won't be disappointed. You'll love me for spending that $80. It'll be the best $80 you've ever spent. And yeah, so hopefully this review was helpful. Hopefully you learned a little bit from it. And let me know. Suggestions, comments, let me know. Subscribe, rate, and comment. And as always, stay snazzy. See you later, folks.